Okay, the air filter's arrived, so I'm going to go ahead and fit that. I went with the cheap option of a paper filter. There is a cloth type, K&N type filter you can get, which is a lot more expensive than one of these, but this is just a regular. There are car ones in this size, so that's what I got. Fit him in. It's nice and straightforward job, this. And then as soon as I've done this, the air filter, I'm going to make a start on the forks, which is why it's up on stands at the moment. I've also discovered, trying to start it again, that the battery is unfortunately no more. I've had it on charge for a while and it's just not spinning over fast enough to start it. But there we go. So just how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts holding this on, which I will probably speed up because this is quite boring to watch. This Mudguard, in case you're wondering, it's a fiberglass replacement. The original plastics on this bike are not very strong, and I got this from a company in Germany. But unfortunately, the guy who was running the company, he's no longer with us. But I was lucky enough to get this from him. This is a lot easier with a front paddock stand. If you, I read before so they're slightly unusual, these forks. There's a spring. I think there's only a spring in one side and only damping on the other side of the forks. It's a bit strange. And what happens if you support the front on a normal paddock stand, the bike can tip over because it's only got a spring on one side. So if you support it like this, shouldn't be any problem. So that's the mudguard off. Calipers. This one, yeah, there's no way I would have got an MOT with this one. There's oil all over the caliper now. Hoping he hasn't got on the pads. So while I'm here, I'll loosen the front wheel spindle also. Oh, that's unusual as a nut. And this is where the sound recording stopped. I must have pressed the record stop button in my pocket. I've found out a way to prevent that now, but anyway, so here's some after the fact commentary. Just removing the left hand caliper now. Couple of bolts hold that on. Then you'll notice I just kind of dangle them out of the way when I take them off. It's got what are those brake lines called? The like held hell brake lines, so they're pretty strong. I'm sure just dangling a little caliper off doesn't really harm that much. I've never seen a brake line get damaged yet by dangling calipers, but there we are. Next up is to take the wheel spindle out, which was pretty tight actually. I tried it with a smaller ratchet before this, and it needed the whole breaker bar to get it undone, just to break it off like that. And then I spent an abnormal amount of unnecessary time trying to get this bolt out. It's got quite a long thread on it, and then it refused to come out the last bit, and so I started to tap it out from the other side. Some much clumsiness with the ratchet here. As I said. And then it's hard to tell when it's actually stopped unthreading and it's just spinning round. I kept turning in the vain hope that it was going to wind itself out a lot more than it actually did at this point. And then I tried to kind of gently pull on it as it was turning to get it out, but yeah, had to go around the other side basically to tap it out. That realization comes any minute now. Come on, you know you're going to have to go around the other side. And yeah. So it didn't need much, just a light tap with a tapping device and a punch. And I thought I may not have greased it when I last put it in, but it's still, yeah, it was still greased. Though it's been a while since it's been out, I know that. Couple of washers fall out of the other side, and then there's the speedo drive on this side, just pulls away. Just makes it that little bit fiddlier to put it back in. So this was the shot that we should have had at the same time with that one, but this camera stopped working very early on. Well, in fact, it looked like it never even started. But yeah, so I got the bike up on paddock stands front and back. The right hand one, the front paddock stand, quite useful for this kind of thing, but mine isn't quite long enough, so I had to put it on a couple of bricks, as you can see, which made it slightly less stable, but no more dangerous than those things usually are. Okay, rather frustratingly, I've been losing footage, which is either I'm two camera setup guy now, but sometimes either the camera goes off or the sound goes off or whatever. So I'm hoping this is going to work. Got one of the fork legs here, got it in the vise. This is the one that's leaking really badly. First job is to undo the top nut. I'm going to do it with the impact. Watch your ears, please. I'll try and cover the microphone up. And I don't think there's a spring in this one, but I'm about to find out. And it already stinks. Fork oil. So I think there's a damper. Yeah, there's a damper hooked onto this. And, oh man, that stinks. There's a nut here which we've got to loosen off. Feels like 12 or 13 mil. Oh, it's 14. What's that? 14 mil, okay. It was 14 mil. So, do this. Yeah. So that's the top of the damper rod. Oh, fork oil. It's disgusting. Rubber gizmo. And no, I just drained it out, I believe. Now, I'm not sure if this just pulls out or if there's a circlip or anything, but I'll just try and get most of the oil out first, and then clamp it in the vise here. What's the view like? What's going on? Not great, right? It's kind of like the dark side of the moon. I wonder what the other camera's like. Can you see there? So I think what I do now is I yank this upwards. But it could be there's a clip or something under there. So let's have a look. Maybe there's like a seal retainer clip or something. This is just a dust cover, right? And yeah, I'm glad I didn't try too hard. There's a seal retainer. So now it should just pop out. Yeah, there we go. And so there's a top bush. I haven't got a new one of those. Not sure how much of this you can see. Top bush, which normally they just have a split in and you can just lift it off. Yeah, that's got a split in it. Another bush, washer, dust seal. So do I need to get that one? Yeah, I've got to get top bush off. Let's get it back in the vise. Let's see what kind of view you've got there. Something like that. So this, I think you can just spring it apart a little bit. Yeah. Top bush. Bottom bush. Old seal. I'm going to make a note of which way up this is. New seals are in here. So new seal. Oh, there's a washer. So, piece of rubber, top bush bottom bush. Then there's a washer. Oop, washer. Then the seal goes spring side, that side, then the dust seal. So, dust seal first. Is that a dust seal? That's a dust seal. Does that go in there? It's quite a bit different. Yeah, that fits on there. So dust seal first, and there's a spring on the outside. It's different to that one, but that's okay. Little bit of oil off my finger on the seal, and then very, very carefully, so I don't damage anything, just gently. Gently tease that over. There. And there. So, dust seal. Then the seal. There's a bit of a lip there. I think I might try a little bit of tape on that. Maybe a bit of PTFE. I've been filming still going on here. I don't know what's going on with the camera. Anyway, a bit of PTFE around here, I think, just to protect it over this edge. Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's quite a sharp edge where that top bush goes, and hopefully this will help it to slide over there a little bit, which is not working. No, that's not going to work. It's too thick. So, I really want to be able to slide it on from the other end because that's the way the lip is. But it went over that first one. There. Yeah, I think that's okay. Dust cover, seal, washer. Bottom bush. Top bush. Rubber thing, which I can do that at the last minute. That looks clean inside there. I don't think I need to do anything with that. So that goes on that way. Bottom bush, top bush seal, damper rod, and so I don't forget it, little rubber piece. Damper rod. Mind your ears. I'll do that up just finger tight for now. So the tricky bit now is I need to find my special tool, which is a piece of drain pipe, to basically push the seal in the top there. So I'm going to just put it in the vise, and I'm going to stop the cameras, find my piece of drain pipe that I've got somewhere, and carry on in a minute. Well, of course, I can't find my special tool, which is just a piece of drain pipe, plastic plumbing pipe with a split in it. You click it over and you can tap it in, but all you actually need to do is tap in the top bush upside down, the bottom bush. This is the bottom bush, and I'm sure I've done it before. It's ever so gently. I can just tap it in. Yeah, that's flush now with the top. So washer in, and I think this just, the seal, yeah, it just pushes in. I can use the dust seal maybe to push it in a little bit more. Yeah, and then hopefully I can get the spring clip in. A little bit more. Careful not to damage it, Simon. Yeah, I can just press that in enough. Yep. I think that's enough to get the clip in the groove. Yeah, that's in the groove. And then this, I think, just, yeah. A little bit of encouragement maybe. Can I use the old one? Well, that's really squishy. That won't won't do it. Something just gently. Doesn't want to go. Can't keep it square. Oh, well that's awkward. I can't get the last thing in, the dust seal in. All sorts of camera problems and stuff yesterday, and sound problems. So hopefully today will go a bit better. And I'm going to stick to just one camera for this little bit, but I've managed to persuade the dust seal in. It was a very tight fit. They're not the same as the ones that were on there before. The one before were just kind of plastic and very malleable, and this I think has got a metal ring in it, and it was very, very tight. Anyway, a bit of rubber grease and a bit of tapping in with a punch and a hammer around the edge. It's gone in, and yeah, there's no worry about damaging the seal or anything because the seal is inside. 400ml of SAE 10 arrived this morning just in time, and yeah, I'm gonna put it in. This rubber ring at the top, by the way, is the bump stop for if it ever bottoms out, which is unlikely in the way I might ride it. So that's not all gone in yet, and it's right at the top, but then the fork leg is right at the top as well, so I suspect you probably have to pump them up and down a bit to get rid of the bubbles. Oh, a bit too high. I was just trying to make sure there's no bubbles. I think I can do that up now. The interesting thing is they're airtight, these, so I don't know if the air is supposed to act as an additional spring, but I guess I'm going to do it up with the fork at the bottom, if you see what I mean. So there's no vacuum, but yeah, strange arrangement. So hopefully no more leaks, well, in the short term anyway. So yeah, there's definitely a spring effect from the air, even though there's no spring. So air damped on one side, air sprung on one side and damped, and on the other side sprung and not damped. I don't know, that seems like very little damping to me. Maybe I should have tried a heavier oil. Maybe I will try a heavier oil one day. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to do the other leg while you're not looking. And I believe it's exactly the same, apart from there's a spring inside it. And then we'll put them back on the bike. Hopefully the homeward stretch, get the forks back in, get the wheel back in, get the calipers back on, mudguard on, and yeah, the brakes to do after that, but that won't be today. So forks all back together. The spring and the damper are on the same side. Which one's this one? This one's without anything in it. So this just has oil in it and air. That's it. Very strange arrangement. Never seen anything like it. But yeah, it all went back together no problem, and hopefully won't leak for a little while. This one is the right hand fork, I think. So it should be straightforward. Except they don't line up, that's interesting. Oh, okay. And there's a kind of a dirt mark on the top, so I can see what height they were at before. Put them both in, I think, before I tighten anything up. Looks about right. So I'm just going to do them up, not crazy tight at the minute. Just enough to stop them falling out. Because then I'll, once the wheel's in and everything, I'll bounce them up and down. Make sure there's no twist or anything. Is the sound working all right, Ted? Yep, good. Front wheel. Should be the right way around. Spindle speedo drive. It's interesting. Seems to have... Why would it have dropped? Oh no, there we go. There are a couple of washers on this side that I put down here. God, that's awkward. Am I going to need some hammer help? Sorry if I'm in the way of the camera for a minute, but it's a bit awkward. Of course, the forks aren't quite at the same extension, which is all about that dropping down business, I guess. I need a lever. Camera check. Camera check. Actually, I have bought some like little inflatable bag things, which I thought might be good for this job, but of course I don't have them to hand right now. So is it that maybe if I just loosen this is the one without any damping, right? It should just easily lift up. I can see come on, there we go, I think. Yeah. That looks good. Put the calipers on. So the brakes do need doing, but that's not going to happen this time around. That'll be the last thing. And then I think MOTs are happening again now, right? Not 100% sure, but I think they are. Actually, I think I'm going to leave. I'll leave the mudguard off until I've done the brakes, and I'll put that back on after I've done the brakes. Because I pushed the pads back on the other side, they've opened out on this side, but I'm just going to give myself a little breathing room in the master cylinder. So yeah, before I tighten up everything, I'm going to just bounce it up and down. Hopefully not drop it off its stand while I sorry Ted. Oh well, I don't want to get you mucky, so I'm just going to put you over here out of the way. How's the sound? Okay, better stand. And I nearly stacked it. Okay, just give it a few. Give it some brakes first. That's interesting. Something very awry with the master cylinder. I wonder what's happened there. Yeah, that's the next problem. Anyway, the forks are all right, and they better not be leaking. That's it for today. Thank you for watching, as usual. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff. It really does make a difference. I know you think that YouTube is spying on you or whatever, but yeah, it's really appreciated if you do subscribe. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.